Alright, what is up guys, it is Storm back here with another video, and in this one I am bringing you part 4 to Mightless, and My Hero Academia story by the Mysterious Banana. Now, if you want to read the story for yourself, the link to it will be down in the description below. But before we begin, if you like the content you're seeing, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. They're all free, so why not? If you want some dope channel merch, the link that'll be down in the description below. And if you want to see more of me, go check out my other channels and go follow me on Twitter and Instagram, which will all be linked down below. But without further ado, why don't we just dive right on in. It's only been a few weeks since Izuku became a villain, and he's built up quite a reputation in the criminal underground. While many villains call him the Messenger or the Rabbit, most just know him under the alias Mightless. While the media and the Hero Associations hadn't picked up about this upcoming threat, cases of newcomer and veteran heroes losing had become more and more frequent, as villains have defeated and in rare cases even killed pro heroes in action. Many new pro heroes making their debut had their career sent to an early grave due to the recent criminal activities. Izuku himself, however, had never felt any better. Before, he was unsure whether he should take this path, but with time, he got used to it, and started making deals more and more often with villains, trading info for money and weapons. Before he knew it, it was already the end of the first semester. Hell yeah, 1 week of freedom, cheered the classroom as the vacations kicked in. Izuku was just as excited as everyone else, especially since he can now focus on his villain business a lot more. He had to meet a certain client anyways, so when the bell rang, he ran out of school faster than everyone else, with lively green innocent eyes hiding his twisted intentions. Suddenly, he felt a pull on his back collar and was stopped dead in his tracks. Time may have went by, but some things never change. "Yo, Deku," said a familiar voice. Izuku sighed as he put up his old Izuku act. "Hey, Kachan," Izuku said, trembling in fear, but not really. "Listen, buddy," said Kachan. "School's about to end, and you're looking way too happy for my taste. So since I won't be seeing your face for the next 7 days, I might as well implant a much more pleasant image of your face in my head, so I won't think of you and your stupid toothy grin." "Oh great, here we go again. I'll definitely kill you one day, Kachan," Izuku thought, as Bakugo's fist met his face. "Ow, please, mercy," Izuku begged while crying fake tears. "That's a face I can think of while on vacation. Thanks, buddy," Bakugo said, picking Izuku up by the head before slamming him face first into the pavement. As Bakugo left, Izuku got up. He brushed off the dust and wiped off the blood from his nose, putting on his outfit, which was a modified All Might's jacket that had been recolored to a black and gray, with red hair strands and a new face mask, which was originally a giant smile, but Izuku wears it upside down, so it's a frown instead. "Just you wait, Kachan. We'll see who has the last laugh," Izuku said to himself. Izuku arrived at his designated position where he was going to meet his client. Several dead bodies of the police lay in the abandoned, rundown building he was in. Seeing all the dead corpses, Izuku couldn't help but let out a sorta girlish giggle. This kind of carnage would have made him puke back in the days. But after all the gangs and villains he did business with, and all the fights he witnessed and was sometimes involved in, he started to enjoy seeing the arrogant, braggy, stuck-up faces of a hero or foe twist into despair. It was a sort of satisfaction of seeing suffering inflicted upon those who deserved it that gave Izuku a sort of sadistic edge, one that he desperately tries to hide in front of his mother, whom he deemed was pure and deserving of much more. Suddenly, a black shadow leapt behind him, alerted by his laughter. "It seems you did some work here," Izuku said without turning around. "Hero killer Stain. You seem to have quite a solid reputation in the criminal underworld too." "Hero hunter," Stain responded. Izuku turned around, blushing. "Please, you're flattering me," Izuku said. "I'm but the villain equivalent of a carrier pigeon. Why should I deserve such courtesy?" Stain smiled. "My job is to kill these posers society calls heroes, and when I do so with brute force and skill. But you use your head, a rarity in the criminal world. In the span of a week, you united 3 feuding criminal gangs, exposed 4 pro heroes' identities, who were later killed at their own home by grudge-driven villains, saved 7 villains from known organizations from capture, and even took out a pro hero single-handedly. I think you're worth a lot more than you think." Izuku smiled. "Did I really do so much?" he said while tilting his head. "I don't really keep track of my activities. Maybe I underestimated myself a bit," Izuku said, "but I guess my combat training paid off." "Alright, enough of the chit-chats. You got the stuff?" asked Stain. Yup, answered Izuku as he opened his bags and retrieved 3 red vials. The blood samples of Positive, Red Nose, and Darkness Blade. And the price? Asked Stain. I'm not asking much, just for you to demonstrate to me your fighting style, Izuku said. Wait, is that all? Asked Stain, confused. Yeah, it's just blood for the benefit of your own quirk. Blood curdling was it? The ability to paralyze those whose blood you lick. Couple that with your combat experience, and you got yourself a first-rate assassin, Izuku said while smiling under his mask. How did you know? Stain yelled, pissed off as he rushed towards Izuku. I don't just analyze heroes, Stain. Sometimes there are villains that are just in it for greed. I don't stand for that. Now show me your fighting style, Izuku said, putting the vials into his pocket as Stain threw several knives at him. Izuku quickly rolled back, picking up one of the dead cop's pistols and firing it at the hero killer. Stain saw the pistol and ran out of the way, before appearing behind Izuku and slashing at him. Izuku was barely able to dodge as the blade left an S cut in his jacket. Stain then jumped back and threw more knives, to which Izuku ducked under, but once again, Stain ran in and slashed at him. This time, however, Izuku took a good look at Stain. So that's it, he commented. Interesting. Stain then jumped back and sheathed his blade while clapping his hands. Ha, you did well. I didn't expect some brat like you to make it this far. However, you committed the grave sin of putting your nose where it doesn't belong. Now, you'll die. But Izuku simply flashed a smile at him, taunting him. That's it, you're dead, yelled Stain as he ran in. Just suddenly, as he came in range, he felt his right foot step in something liquid, causing him to slip and slice Izuku's pocket. Walking towards Izuku's paralyzed body, Stain bent down and said, "You made a good trade partner. Shame it's time to put you down," Stain said while raising his knife. Suddenly, Izuku sprung to life as he whipped out the cop's gun he took and pointed it directly at Stain's forehead. "One move, and you're dead. Now drop the weapon and on your knees or I'll shoot," said Izuku. Stain, with widened eyes, dropped his knife and knelt down as Izuku stood up, looking down on his defeated opponent. How? How can you even move? I licked your blood," Stain cried out. "Oh, did you now?" asked Izuku, taking his available hand and reaching into his pocket, and pulled out a cut-open blood vial. You placed that there, didn't you?" Stain grunted, unable to accept his defeat. "Yup, I'll admit, you almost had me. Sadly, you didn't see me as much of a threat and exposed me your fighting style," Izuku said. "How? What do you mean?" Stain asked in confusion. "You use your quirk as a means to secure your victory, hence why you attempt to make me bleed by throwing knives. Though I'll admit dodging those knives were sheer luck and that I'd be dead otherwise. You then attempted to kill me at close range, which led to your downfall," explained Izuku. "What do you mean?" Stain asked. "You see, every blade, depending on their size, weight, and length, has a sweet spot where, if the user swung at, can deliver a lethal cut that's just deep enough to not get your blade caught by bones, but get a deep enough injury in to slowly kill your opponent. But sadly, once you find that sweet spot, you only use that sweet spot. And by swinging at me twice, I was able to judge the approximate range where you stopped to swing, which is where your opponent can take advantage of," Izuku continued to explain. "So that means," Stain said as he looked behind him and saw a broken vial with blood all over the floor, and a footprint where he slipped. "You bastard! You used me to test out your analysis skills in your mid-fight situations, didn't you?" Stain asked. "Indeed, and I'm happy to know it works perfectly. Now, I don't want to kill you either, so let's just walk away like this never happened, okay?" Izuku asked. All of a sudden, the sound of someone clapping was heard. As Izuku turned his head to see who was doing it, however, Stain took advantage of this moment of distraction to hit the gun out of Izuku's hand and put him in an arm lock. "So, now what, Mr. Analysis?" Stain said with a hint of anger. "Stop it, both of you." A sudden voice was heard as a man dressed in black, with white hair and hands covering his face, grabbed onto different parts of his body. Stain let go of Izuku and backed off, knowing he was not welcome here, and jumped out of the window to escape. "Great, you scared my client away. Anyways, who are you?" Izuku asked, picking himself off the floor. "Greetings. I'm Tomura Shigaraki. I'm the lead representative of the League of Villains, and we've taken great interest in you." Mightless, the man presented. Izuku's eyes widened. "Wait, League of Villains? How big is your organization?" asked Izuku, getting excited after finding out there was an entire organization of villains. This could be his first ever big business dealings. Our organization is meant to bring down the Hero Association, and especially the #1 hero, All Might. And after observing your actions and indirect contributions to the League, we think it's about time we recruit you, said Tomura. The thoughts of killing All Might made Izuku's heart leap with joy. He couldn't wait to get payback on the person who crushed his dreams for good. But then, it hit him. Does All Might have any weaknesses? Asked Izuku. For the record, no. Odd for you to ask that out of the blue, replied Tomura. Izuku wanted to hug this man so much, but it wouldn't be possible with his hands in the way. What luck. He was the only one who knew All Might's true weakness. He can now use this knowledge to bring him to the top of the league. Anyways, if you're interested, just give us a call. We'll give you time to think about it, Tomura said, handing him a business card, before heading into the shadows. Hey, wait, Izuku yelled. But it was too late, and the man disappeared in the shadows. A teleportation quirk, asked Izuku. But he couldn't think about that at the current moment. Instead, he ran home into his room before Inko could even call his name. He jumped onto his bed before thrashing around in joy. The boyish, lively eyes of Izuku were brighter than ever. He kept on thrashing until he was sweaty and tired. Looking at the business card, he knew he couldn't leave to meet the guys at this hour, meaning he was gonna have to go tomorrow. Instead, after eating dinner and watching some TV, where it was reported that Positive was hospitalized after suddenly being paralyzed mid-fight during a villain attack, Izuku went upstairs. It was a week of vacation he knew he will never forget.